unfundable. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper! Press go up. Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion!
You don't know the power. The math is unfundable. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership. And what's it gonna do? Everybody excited?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation!
Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the official EMP live stream. We come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. My name is AJ, I am the team lead here, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA, how are you?
Hey guys! Oh hell yeah!
Yes, no doubt.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, totally. Another great week, LA. Things have been looking really good. Markets are dumping, but the ecosystem, our ecosystem, is looking pretty promising. So, and yeah, shout out to Cool Sheet. He said, again, we'll still have some alpha, maybe a new Cool Sheet song in the works. So, I'll have to reach out and see if we can make that happen. So, anyway, great to be here. LA, always glad to have you here. And so let's jump right in. Before we do, though, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps the algorithm, helps get the word out, and ultimately helps us, get new users in the EMP mothership. So we'll talk a lot today about Fusion. We just released a brand new update right before this AMA on how we are determining some of the formulas, and Plazm. Plazm's been killing it. We released a brand new thing called EasyMode, and it's not only made the onboarding process that much easier, but it's also really helped with the way the chart is behaving due to the routing, which we'll get into for sure. So, all right, and yeah, shout out to all of you in the chat. LA, they're excited. You're the oh hell yeah to begin with is getting people fired up. So, all right. So that being said, just a quick update. Again, market's still looking really uncertain. ETH bleeding, BTC bleeding. I think in a worst case scenario, just based on the chart and support and resistance, even though all of you all know that I'm not a big TA or chart guy, we're looking at maybe around high 80K for Bitcoin at the absolute worst. And then, just a sub 3K on ETH, but I really don't think we're going to get there. And, as I've said many times, I'm a big sentiment trader. meaning, when there's fear and blood in the streets, that's usually when the most opportunity is here. And we just saw fear and greed index hit about a 15 today, which is really low. And usually when we start seeing fear and greed hit those levels, historically it's been an amazing bottom signal. So all that being said, again, volatility is still here, but we're managing the best that we can. And it's really our individual ecosystem, EMP, GG, DexFi, eShare, Plazm, all of our tokens have been holding up really well for the most part. So, all right, that's just a quick market update. We have a lot to get through tonight, so I'm going to try to go quick, and we'll leave some questions at the end as well. If you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat. So, all right, LA. Let's start with Fusion. We did 2 updates over the last 2 weeks. We've been trying to do this, slow and steady. If you didn't see those individual updates, please feel free to go to our socials and read them. But the overall gist of it is our entire ecosystem in terms of EMP Fusion is moving to base. So right now, all the volume through DexFi, through bonds, through Plazm, all that is already on base and performing well. Fusion was really just kind of the last remaining thing, other than GG, that really, was not on base already. And we decided to just rip the band-aid off and, credit everybody as if they had sacrificed into Fusion, and move them over. So this means that everything now, eShare EMP is no longer a token, and eShare and Fusion, along with everything else, will now be on base chain specifically. So a lot of you have been really positive about it, and really we're trying to simplify the approach as well. So not only are we doing this, but it's also making it even more simple. And again, we have an update that I'll get into that we just released with a screenshot of what Fusion is. So again, it'll help kind of frame it a little better. So and eShare has still been performing really well. We had almost a 5x on eShare just in the last week alone. Again, eShare is very volatile, but all the mechanisms are in place to help economic energy buy and burn and flow into eShare. So I think those that were concerned that this move would be a detriment to eShare, we haven't even started yet, and we can see the benefit of having everything on one place, with base and eShare. So shout out to all of you that were scooping up eShare at the lows. Just a few days ago, it was like $5. So again, there's always opportunity. You just have to be in the right mindset and paying attention. So if you haven't yet, please bridge your eShare over to base. Fees are low. It's super easy. I can even show that as well right now. But LA, was there anything else you wanted me to go over before we get into an update on the changes?
No, I think what's below is kind of the meat of it, so we can move on to that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and kind of do an overview while I show real quick. Actually, let me just do that real quick. Hang on one second. I want to show how to bridge eShare.
And I just wanted to say it's nice to see eShare on the rise, even when the rest of the market is going lower and lower, because it just shows that we are heading in the right direction in spite of the market bringing it down. So
yeah, no doubt, LA. And again, that's with ETH going down. So because we're bonded to both ETH and Plazm now, there's also a lot of external factors that pull ETH or that pull eShare up and down. So yeah, with ETH going down, we're eShare still going up. is bullish. So all right, and we'll talk about bonds a little bit later, but just real quick, we've distributed over 700K in bonds. What a milestone already. That's almost a million total between all of our white labels, and the fund is still looking really healthy. So about $2 million, even with ETH going down, and even though now the dollar value is sub 100, the ETH value has really been holding strong. So we finally, I think, dialed it in. We've been updating some of our compounding and been able to DCA in other strategies in bonds. And so we've been able to hold above that 0.03 ETH value really well over the last few weeks now, which is bullish because, again, that signifies that we have kind of hit a bottom in terms of, potential erosion or, again, people say impermanent loss, but it's really less about impermanent loss and more just about the market going down. And we topped up the APR last night, early this morning, and so 70% APR still is great, and volume's been down a lot. So again, that's a great sign overall. So all right, let me just go here. You will go to dexfi.com/bridge. You can get to it here, and this is how you bridge. So if you have eShare on BNB, it will detect it, connect your wallet, and bridge to base. It's really that easy. There is a very, very small fee that covers the gas in eShare, but it's very, very small. And so, pennies. So that will end up showing up on base, and you're good to go. Now, if you're just seeing this video, 6 months from now or whatever, we will be shutting the bridge down. But the eShare will still be in the treasury. So if you open a ticket, 6 months from now and can prove that you had eShare on BNB, then we can credit manually. But that is not an excuse not to do this. So please migrate over, and we'll take everything else as it comes. And again, some major alpha, which a lot of you put 2 and 2 together already, and we officially confirmed it on the last AMA. But eShare will now be a max supply token. So we're looking at about 60,000 eShare total. That number, again, we'll publish the final number. We do still need to do some settlement in what's in smart contracts, what will never be accessed again, even some of the old contracts we never use. But that number, we will have a final number on eShare, and that will be the total capped supply moving forward. So that's super bullish because we were doing a halving schedule where every year, there was still more eShare being released, even though it was really small. I mean, I think we were on schedule for about 7,000 additional eShare this cycle. But now none of that will be happening. So I think that's another reason eShare has seen some great movement. And I mean, again, as an example, Yearn Finance is probably the biggest example. What I mean, that token reached like 5,000 or even $10,000 per token in the last bull run because it had such a low supply. So low supply doesn't automatically equal high price, but it sure helps. So all right, awesome. LA. Let's go ahead and go back here. You want to go over the next part? Go ahead.
Yeah, so what do these changes mean? So we're moving eShare, we're moving Fusion over to base. What does this mean? This means, as AJ mentioned earlier, the EMP token will be discontinued and all the existing value will be fairly transitioned into Fusion. EMP will migrate to base and become even more simplified. So a lot of people have had a hard time understanding how Fusion works, especially new people trying to get in. There's not going to be any more difficult to understand mechanisms like our batteries, our M energy, our power packs, our peg bonus, any complex math. It's all going to be incredibly simplified. Instead, it'll evolve into a very straightforward staking protocol that honors everyone's ownership in everything we build moving forward, and it'll be paying out in real yield without the worry of anyone dumping on us. And so, what this means is if you hold any liquid EMP, you need to sacrifice it into Fusion immediately if you haven't already, if you do want to still receive a little peg bonus. Doing so will grant you the current peg bonus. If you don't sacrifice before migration, all the remaining liquid holders will receive a 1.1x position in Fusion on base. All sacrifice points, all liquid EMP, marketplace listings, batteries purchased, M energy, power packs, pending rewards, power up NFTs, they'll all be carried over from your current positions and added to EMP Fusion on base. And so all legacy protocols, EMP Money, EMP Fusion on BSC, they'll be retired permanently. The current competition rewards are on hold until the migration is finished. And this is great because instead of waiting to reach PEG before we can move to phase 2 of our growth strategy, we're moving immediately to phase 2. We don't have to maintain or recover PEG. This will just allow us to drive all the revenue directly into Fusion for higher APRs and a lot more sustainability. So going forward, the only way to get into Fusion will be to purchase microgrids from other users. And this ensures we have no dilution and we're ever increasing the ownership concentration through treasury buybacks. It will also establish a true market value for microgrids and your overall positions within Fusion instead of relying on peg values. And so this gives us direct exposure to the appreciation of ETH over time while simultaneously increasing returns with the growth of crypto overall. One really exciting thing is that all marketplace fees will be settled in ETH and they'll be used to buy and distribute eShare as the payout token in Fusion. This is going to drive massive volume, burning, utility, and a net positive effect on the economic energy of eShare. Again, if you do have liquid EMP, make sure you take care of it now. Get it sacrificed into Fusion so you can get a peg bonus. If you do have eShare on BSC, make sure you get it bridged over on DexFi to base. It has very low fees for doing so, and so that shouldn't be difficult at all. If you do have any remaining LPs on DexSwap, make sure you remove the liquidity and get that eShare over to base.
Perfect. Yeah, great recap. Yes. So all those things are definitely a priority right now. And yeah, I mean, this is exciting for the future. So we're essentially just fast tracking our original goal to phase 2 immediately. And there are some really cool synergies, which again, I see some comments already. Shout out to Invest the Logic. He's here. Glad to see you here, brother. And yeah, Neil says Fusion pays out an eShare, which is then could be able to be put into Plazm. So yeah, that is 100% true. And it's an added utility and use case and economic energy to eShare. So like LA said at the very end there, all marketplace fees now are settled in ETH, and there will be a 3% buy and sell fee in the marketplace, and that ETH is then used to go and buy. This is one revenue stream, by the way. There's about 12 other ones, and we're going to be updating Fusion Watch to track all these. But just one of the revenue streams, that part of that ETH is used to go and buy eShare off the market, and then distribute that to people that are in Fusion. So again, Fusion becomes basically a very simplified single staking protocol, and those that are familiar with bonds will be right at home with how it works. And that segues into our most recent announcement, which let me go ahead and pull up the screen here. Hang on. Okay, so as you can see, and apologies, it's kind of tiny, but you can go see this on Twitter or X and all of our socials. But this is the new landing page. Again, it's very, very simple. No more marketplace, no more M energy, no more batteries, just literally a way to stake your microgrids. And that's a new thing. Rather than owning sacrifice points within your single microgrid, everything now, each individual NFT is known as a microgrid. So you could have one microgrid or you could have millions of microgrids. And those are then staked into into Fusion. And that will determine your ownership and ultimately your APR and payout. So again, you're essentially owning a part of everything that we build in the future, and all the real yield and fees associated with those protocols and projects. At least some of that will go back to again buying eShare off the market and then distributing eShare through Fusion. And even if 99% of all of you sold the eShare that we distribute, because we're buying it first, it's still a net positive effect on the price of eShare. And I know there's a lot of other developers, including some of our very own community members, that are always looking to build utility for eShare as well as us. So again, if you're familiar with bonds, it'll be super simple, and no more sacrificing. So from here on out, the only way to get in and out of Fusion is through the marketplace. So peer to peer. Those that have microgrids will be able to sell them for any price they choose, and that's how you will get into Fusion if you have not, or that's how you will build your ownership. If you want to increase your ownership, and now there's a fixed supply. So again, no more sacrifice points, no more bonus points for the peg bonus, and we're getting into that here in a minute. So, LA, are you able to read this all again, or do you want me to? The recent announcement? Yeah.
Yep, let me just pull it up on my phone so it's bigger.
Yep, no worries.
Okay, so as promised, this is the third major update on our transition to Base. And today we're breaking down exactly how every wallet was credited in the new system. We've already covered the new mechanics and the upgraded structure in the first two updates. Now it's time to show you how the numbers actually came together. To ensure fairness, transparency, and consistency across every wallet, all positions were first converted into sacrifice points. Once totaled, your sacrifice points determined how many new Fusion NFTs your wallet received at a 10-to-1 ratio. So here's how each asset was calculated. Existing sacrifice points were counted 1 for 1 as is for every address. Liquid EMP, 1 EMP equals 1.1 sacrifice points. Marketplace listings, all current listings converted into sacrifice points. Fraudulent listings were excluded entirely. Batteries, 1 battery equals 1,500 sacrifice points. If you had more than one, this will stack. M energy, marketplace energy, and power packs. 1 marketplace energy point equals 100 sacrifice points. Unclaimed pending rewards from batteries. Converted to USD value, $1 equals 100 sacrifice points. Power Up NFT. 1 Power Up NFT equals 100,000 sacrifice points. This is calculated at the full value for the NFT originally. It does not include pending rewards, as you are essentially being 100% reimbursed and have earned the entire time. Final NFT calculation. Once all of your positions were converted and totaled, every 10 sacrifice points will equal 1 Fusion NFT, now known as 1 microgrid. Example, 1 million sacrifice points equals 100,000 NFTs rounded up. This conversion ensures that everyone keeps their proportional share, nothing gets lost, nothing gets diluted, and OG supporters remain heavily rewarded in the new ecosystem. Now, instead of owning sacrifice points, you own one or many Microgrid NFTs. This puts just under 49 million NFTs in existence, which is less than the original EMP supply. That means your ownership should be proportionally intact, if not better, than had we not done this transition. The next update will be when EMP Fusion is scheduled to go live. We're shooting for approximately 10 days or less. From here on out, we suggest getting ready to buy in the new marketplace if you want to add to your position or enter. Moving forward, buying microgrids on the marketplace will be the only way to enter. Rewards will begin immediately upon going live and ramp up over time.
Let's go. All right, perfect, LA. So let me just do a really quick recap on all that. But I think it's very self-explanatory. I'm sure people will still ask some questions, but let me just jump back up here. So again, the sacrifice points are easy, 1-to-1. Everything again is calculated in sacrifice points first, and then we distribute based on that 10-to-1 ratio at the end. So just think of sacrifice points to begin with, 1-to-1 for any that you already had if you already sacrificed. If you do have liquid EMP and did not sacrifice, you're not getting completely left in the cold, but you're not getting the total sacrifice bonus. So it'll be 1.1, just basically a 0.1 or 10% bonus rather than 2, 3, 4x bonus. And again, that's automatically applied. So even if you come back to EMP a year from now, you will be able to see your credit in Fusion on base. All current listings were converted into sacrifice points. So if you had a listing on the marketplace when we shut everything down, you are still getting credit for that. It's just as if you never had it listed. And that's applied to overall SAC points. And any of the fraudulent listings, there's a total of 7 addresses. All those will be excluded entirely, which would really help with any dilution. If you bought a battery, any battery, whether it was the cash out batteries or as well as the peg exchange battery. So that was one of the questions we saw. If you had more than one, you're getting a flat rate of 1,500 SAC points. That's roughly again $15 per battery. That it does not scale up with the peg exchange. Unfortunately, we couldn't be doing it, individual batteries for individual wallets, so it had to be a blanket setting. However, based on the data, most of you were able to cash out at least what you paid for the battery to begin with through that peg exchange battery. So it should be more than fair to all of you. So hopefully we clarified that. And then, yeah, so marketplace energy and power packs. Again, I know a lot of you went really heavy on marketplace energy through power packs, and we're afraid that, or we're hoping that we would have more things to spend on. And so you're getting full sacrifice credit for those as well. So again, nobody is left behind. Unclaimed pending rewards, again, converted into the dollar value, and then 100 sacrifice points per dollar value. So even if you didn't claim your rewards for the last 6 months or year, whatever, you're still getting credit for all that. And then last but not least, the power-ups. So again, the original purchase price of one power-up NFT was $1,000. They've been paying out every month for the last year or more. So again, you've more than made your made up for them from yield even being 25% or 50%. So we just did a blanket reimbursement of the purchase price so that we can absorb, and again, nobody is left behind. So yeah, really excited for that. And so And the only other bummer with Power Up NFTs is, and the reason that we did the full amount, is that any of the pending rewards will not be credited. But we have a war chest, and that will definitely go towards the first payout in Fusion. So and that's the other thing. After everything is calculated, we do the 10-to-1 ratio, and you get the equivalent value in NFTs. So you can sell one NFT, or you could sell all your NFTs. If it was half of a interval, it's rounded up, and all of the math overall still leaves less than the original supply of EMP. So that's bullish, and should maintain everybody's ownership ratio, if not even give you more. I know people were worried about dilution, but one thing to remember is, even with this math, um, a lot of the contracts that are getting credit are either abandoned wallets, or smart contracts that we don't use anymore, or people that have been hacked, or people that just left crypto. So even though there's 49 million NFTs being put into existence, I think we see very, very a lot of those never enter the system, which will dramatically increase your ownership and ultimately your rewards. So all that is crazy bullish for the future. And if people come back in, they still can stake and get credit. Again, you have to stake in Fusion to start earning. So we're not giving rewards to people that aren't around anymore. So that's also really powerful. And then last but not least, what we've said all along is, part of the rewards not only are going to eShare to be distributed, but we're also going to be buying NFTs off the marketplace. So just purely through us essentially doing a buyback of the NFTs, the APR will increase over time, and your ownership will only increase over time. So even if you never buy another microgrid, because the treasury will always be buying, your ownership will only go up over time. So that's also really, really powerful. Again, assuming that you don't sell your microgrids. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think overall people have been very understanding and bullish for the transition. So LA, anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I have two questions that are just popping in my head that I don't know the answer to. So maybe
Perfect.
other
Yep.
people are wondering this. First one, is there going to be a new like sorting mechanism for the marketplace now that everyone kind of highly requested?
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. There's a bit of alpha. Yeah, the marketplace will now be automatically sorted by the least expensive microgrid, and we will be using a TROP, or time weighted average price, of what the last sale of the microgrid was, and that will determine the floor price of the NFTs. So that's how we'll be determining the APR and what your ownership value is worth, was from the actual historical data of sales. So no longer is it dashboard money, or a made up number based on peg. And again, when I say made up, we had math behind it, but no more dashboard money. It'll be determined based on the real marketplace sales.
Wicked. And then I know the 3% in ETH is a big part of our new, like a new revenue stream almost for Fusion. So my question that's popping up is, I know it's on buys and sells. So is the 3% charged to the seller when they list their microgrid, or when the sale actually goes through?
Yeah, so from my understanding, and again, we'll confirm this prior to launch, but the seller is paying the fee, and the buyer is paying the fee. Both of them are paying when the transaction actually goes through. So if you wanted to list at a certain price and then change that price, you don't have to pay the 3% multiple times. So it's simply just based on when the transaction happens. Um, and I know another question was in regards to um, transfers. So unfortunately, just because of security risks and the way things were, developed, we still are not able to charge or do a fee on transfer. So you will still have to buy and sell from yourselves to transfer. And it's essentially 6%, but you're getting the fees both ways. So it again, it's still only you're only really out half. So again, that's just part of the design. And again, I know some people might not be happy with that, but it is what it is. And just to know that any of the fees, they don't go to us; they go to all of you in Fusion. So any fee that you do pay is directly translated into yield that is distributed. So
Wicked. Okay, cool.
awesome. All right. And then yeah. Oh, this is a good question too. Again, we'll get to questions again, but I just happened to look at it. Florida Joe, the legend. Shout out to you, Joe. I just ran into him and his wife about a month ago. So great to see him in real life. But anyway, he says, are the NFTs? Will there be a different stake duration? The short answer is no. That's the other really cool part of this. Just like with bonds, you can stake or unstake at any time. So there's no lockups as long as you are in the system and staked, then you are getting credit on the distribution. And we will top up the distribution every Thursday. So just like bonds, that we have our epoch for the week, or now it's every 2 weeks. All of the fees are collected. It goes on the market and buys eShare randomly, and then that is what's distributed through that distribution contract. So just simply stake and earn. Cool. All right. Let me go back to the notes. LA, was there anything else before we move on?
No, I think that's good for that.
All right.
I think we were going to head into Plazm next.
Perfect. All right, here we go. Bear with me here. Okay. All right. So yeah, again, LA, I'm making you do all the reading tonight,
okay.
but yeah, you want to go over the EasyMode update, and then I'll pull it up on the screen while you're going over it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're thrilled to announce the biggest update yet to the Plazm ecosystem, a full overhaul of the dApp experience designed to make it faster, smarter, and easier for everyone. Introducing the brand new EasyMode. This lets the dApp do the heavy lifting for you, automatically calculating and executing the most optimal strategy for your input. Whether you're creating or staking, the system now determines the best move instantly based on ROI. It will even allow you to compound so no more manual swaps are required. Existing users will feel right at home thanks to the familiar create/stake design, while new users can now join with confidence. Easy mode positions are tracked in their own section for clarity, and classic mode has been refined with smart max buttons, intuitive date selection, clearer earning displays, and consistent naming across all fields. These upgrades make managing your creations and stakes effortless with enhanced readability and more detailed progress tracking. We've also enhanced the buy and build and buy and burn interface, now showing total pool values and daily allocation percentages, giving you full visibility into how yield and burns are distributed. Sorting is smarter, screenshots are more descriptive, and even your portfolio view is better than ever. Now showing ended positions and offering timestamped snapshots for easier record keeping. Speaking of BBB, there's a small 0.5% fee when utilizing the new EasyMode, but that goes directly to the treasury, creating more bonds and juicing the real yield. This is yet another mechanism to increase earnings in the protocol without relying on new users. This upgrade solidifies Plazm as one of the most user-friendly and advanced real yield protocols in DeFi. Whether you're brand new or a long-term supporter, everything has been streamlined to make generating and staking Plazm simpler, faster, and more powerful than ever.
Awesome, let's go. So yeah, I know we have more to this, but let me go ahead and go over everything that was just said really quick, and then we can go into the next part too. But lots of updates, and it's been really helping the chart. So just to elaborate on what LA said, before you could always create or stake. So again, creation means that you're using your ETH to actually create the future supply. You get more Plazm every single day based on how long you've created for, and the longer that you choose to participate, again 77 days being the maximum, the bigger multiplier you get. So that's creating. And then staking is if you have Plazm, whether you bought it on the market or you're earning it from earlier creations, you can stake your Plazm and earn from the same pool. So that again is a little bit complicated. If you're new to all this, you got to kind of look and see what is a higher ROI. So right now, staking is 6.73k ROI, and creating is 6.68k ROI. But if you don't want to have to double check and do all that, EasyMode is for you. So it's really, really powerful. Again, there's plenty of information on it now in our documents as well. But you simply just go to easy mode, you select ETH, USDC, eShare, or Plazm. Again, using Plazm is great too because you're essentially able to compound without having to sell directly to pay for things. And this is why I think we've really seen the chart respond positively, because with the routing, the way this works is it's really giving people the option to enter the system again without having to sell their entire bag and then buy back again. So it's really cool the way that works. And with the ratios the way they are, staking now is becoming more profitable, which again will push the price up because we're getting rid of the selling pressure. So all you got to do again is select your inputs. So ETH, I put max and I put 77 days. Remember, you always need some ETH for gas, so it's never really a good idea to do max for ETH because then you don't have gas. But just for demonstration purposes, always pick the longest days, and then we scroll down. All right, it'll say that the strategy selected is to stake. So again, it'll take that ETH and it will go and buy Plazm off the market and stake it for me all in one go. So it's really cool. Again, shout out to the devs, man. Build the Tech, BTT, Scott, Shane, and our own guys, Grover, LA, John, and myself were working on this for about a month to really, try to make it easier for everybody. So really excited how this all played out, and it's having a great effect already. So all you do is that, and then hit enter easy mode, and that's it. So and then it'll tell you down here again, stake or create based on what the system has selected. So the only two caveats is number one, like Ella mentioned, there is a small 0.5% fee additional on this, and that goes right to the treasury. It's like a convenience fee, um, and that is just another way that we're able to boost the treasury and the yield in bonds. So again, it doesn't go to me or the team or Genesis or any of that. It goes right into bonds immediately. So that's bullish. And then the only other thing is that you're not able to create an NFT on this. So it will just do the traditional account locked creation or stake. So those are just the two caveats to be aware of. And then a few more highlights real quick, and then we'll get back to the next part. The buy and burn totals have been updated. So as you can see, with eShare going up in price and bonds continuing to feed, we now have 112K of total funds to be used for the buy and burn. So and buy and build. Again, it's lumped into one about $3 every 10 minutes for the buy and burn, and about $2.75 every 10 minutes for the buy and build. And if you go down here, um, both of these are not even being utilized. So a lot of you have been asking, how much of the buy and burns that are in play, and you can look right here. So we're seeing all this positive movement with literally only 1% of the daily allocation on the USDC from bonds and 1% of eShare. So with our system, because it's always being replenished, in theory, we could crank the USDC part all the way up to 100%, and it would be refilled every single day. So, and then again, we probably will never go all the way to 100 with eShare, but we can ramp up eShare to help in the short term, day 77 especially, the first cycle or two, until bonds can grow big enough to take over. So don't be surprised if this eShare, in cycle 3 or 4 or 5 is depleted fully. But by then we would see $5,000-$10,000 a day from bonds. So again, it's all relative, and that's an amazing part of the system where we can use both pools to do what's best for the protocol. So, all right, now last but not least, one last thing with stats. You go all the way down here to the bottom. All right, and we had a record number in ETH. All right, so now we have nearly 115 ETH in the vault. So we're updating this as well. The community was asking for another metric that shows how much bonds we own and what that correlates in percentage ownership. So both of those stats will be added in the next week or two. And again, even with ETH going down, the dollar value is down, but the actual ETH in bonds and the ETH value is only increasing. And again, we're still doing even at 70% APR, we're still doing just under $1,000 a day in real yield. So all that will hopefully continue. And when we get a recovery on alts and the market overall, we still get the exposure to the underlying assets. So this ETH value could double, and the dollar value could double without any new capital entering. So you still get the exposure, which is also so bullish for if you believe that it's not over in terms of the overall crypto cycles. So and again, for the record, we don't. So all right, LA. Anything else while I'm up on the screen? And there's another part that we edited over with Plazm too, right? I don't have my notes up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Plazm announcements for tonight.
All right. So go ahead. Do you want me to? You want to go over the next part while I keep it up here? Or,
Sure.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we are a little bit more than halfway now to day 77. Things are looking incredibly strong. In spite of some market volatility and price fluctuations in both Plazm and eShare, the economic engine behind the scenes has continued to accelerate. There's now over 114 ETH in the treasury, earning roughly 80% APR. This is injecting around $1,000 per day into the BBB without depleting. On top of that, we gain exposure to the underlying assets, meaning the treasury's value should rise along with the broader market. Day 77 unlocks have already been cut in half due to ongoing participation. At least 2 major creators are rumored to be a part of the team, and they plan to re-enter the system rather than dump, reinforcing long-term sustainability. This announcement was from a few days ago. It said nearly 30,000 sits in the BBB. What was that number you said tonight?
Yeah, so it's almost 35,000. So again, yeah, it's pretty incredible the amount of growth for sure.
Yeah, so nearly 35,000 sits in the BBB, ready to be deployed and significantly ramped up once supply starts hitting the market post day 77. By that point, we should be looking at nearly $100,000 dedicated to defending price, deepening liquidity, and burning the supply. Our system already has more TVL in the Treasury and BBB than nearly every other daily creation protocol launched in the last year, and it's still growing. Most importantly, it's not dependent on new users entering. Just think about what this means for long-term sustainability and price stability. From the look of things, in just a short time, we've solved the biggest flaw of every daily creation platform by integrating real external yield and building on a sustainable foundation. The game-changing mechanics we've implemented will only compound in strength as time goes on. Plazm isn't a get-rich-quick. It's get rich consistently. Building strong positions now will only amplify your bags later.
Let's go. Yeah, hell yeah, LA. So just to recap a lot of that, I mean, again, this is a long-term play. The ones that understand the system, they're the ones that have the light bulb go off in their head. And I did a tongue-in-cheek post yesterday about green candles. I mean, obviously green candles are a great way to market and get people in the system, but it's really just about creating something truly unique, where that buy and burn acts as this benevolent whale that's always buying the supply and never selling it. And that alone is just the secret sauce that nearly no other protocol has. And that same mentality is the backbone of Fusion as well. And GDEX and literally every other token that we have is centered around this buy and burn or buy and yield mechanic. So again, I'm excited for that, and it shows that we are proving the success, because a lot of people have PTSD, and I think they're a little scared. They say, yeah, this has been attempted before. It always ends in failure, and they think that what we're saying is just words or marketing speak. But when you truly understand what's happening, and that real yield is solving the downfalls, then you get even more uh, bullish. So all right, and then shout out again to Grover and John at Fusion Watch. I did just want to pull this up really quick and show. LA mentioned it a little bit in that recap, but the supply that is going to be released on day 77 is actually going down, which is super bullish. So the way that this mechanic works is when people do new creations or new stakes, they are then essentially competing for shares, not to be confused with eShare, but shares of the protocol. And so what it does is it really basically evens out the amount of supply that will be hitting the market over time. So we still have, at one point, so if I go over here, let me show you what I mean. At one point, day 77 or day 78 had roughly 4 million Plazm hitting the market, and now it's only about 2 million Plazm. So by the time we get to this day, again, 30 days from now, it could just be a million Plazm if people still are creating. So it's a way that the system is able to kind of even out itself and really mitigate a large part of supply coming out of the market at once. And on top of that, another thing Ellie said, it's rumored that at least 2 of these massive wallets that created on day 70 on day 1 for day 77 or day 78, it would be are benevolent or team owned, allegedly. So that will never be sold. That will just go right back into the system. So obviously, I think there will be a sell off, but I really don't think it's going to be as catastrophic as people are making it out to be. And if anything, you know, we're seeing more creations happening, which is another incredible sign. Over the last 3 days, we've seen more and more people create for the future. So all of those things are really positive signs for the future of Plazm. So, all right, and again, by then we have even more runway from the real yield getting bigger and bigger. One thing I like to highlight is, if we had the TVL of Titan X, which is the most successful daily creation platform in recent history, even though it's paused right now, there's about $18 million of ETH in the treasury. If we had $18 million in bonds and in the Plasm treasury, we'd be doing about $50,000 a day in buying and burning without ever depleting. So it scales incredibly well, and that's why, as a community, our number one goal is to be getting as much ETH in the treasury as possible, because $1 right now in ETH could be $3 in yield in the future. So again, really, really powerful stuff. So, all right, Ellie,
Love it.
what else? Go ahead.
There is another announcement for Plasm as well.
All
There's
right, let's go.
Night is the night. I mean, I can't believe how many announcements you put up in the chat today. So,
Yeah,
or sorry, not today. I mean this week.
for
So,
sure.
Plasm did another massive buy and burn on DragonX, an additional 1 billion DragonX, or approximately $1,000 over 17 days.
Yeah, let's go. So again, although we're not an official build on TitanX protocol, we do support DragonX. So again, I am a personal bag holder of DragonX. I know the founder Eric. We have a great relationship. We're part of the mastermind together, and again, it's not open to the public, but you've heard me mention this a few times that Dragon bonds are the other white label that we did. It never and may never be public, but it is still part of what we're doing. So, all that being said, we want to support DragonX, and a lot of new faces have come from TitanX and DragonX. So that has been the best money we ever spent in terms of users, and we love all of you. Thank you for being here. And it's even more cool because a lot of those participants, they know the potential downfalls of TitanX and DragonX or any daily creation platform. And that's not FUD, that's just the reality of where we're at. Obviously, Eric and Jake have been able to foresee the future and pause, the buy and burn so that it doesn't deplete, hoping for higher prices. But real yield solves all of that. And when you present this to people that are familiar with these protocols, it is the easiest sell in the world. Like again, we don't even have to shill. We just have to show them what we did, and they love it. So shout out to all of you for being here and those that have converted over. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger. So again, the more that we can onboard, the more we can burn DragonX as well. And there is a LP with eShare DragonX. So, we're also becoming liquidity bonded. So it benefits eShare when we do the buy and burn of DragonX. And when DragonX does finally take off, which I do think it will, whether it's this cycle or next, that's another story. But that will ultimately benefit eShare as well. So really cool synergies that we're doing. That is a true win-win for everybody. So shout out to them. And yeah, if you ever see any kind of postings in other communities on X or videos. We had some incredible videos this week. Please make sure that you guys are supporting those that support the ecosystem. So
Perfect segue because that's actually our next announcement.
let's go. And a record number tonight. Holy cow, LA. We almost have 250 live viewers tonight. Holy cow. Yeah,
Incredible.
it's awesome. So shout out to all of you, man. Let's go.
So, an amazing community member, I don't know if you know who it is, you want to shout them out, but they created some educational videos, mainly surrounding Plazm and as well as eShare. And I'm going to post the link in the chat, but they're great.
Amazing, yeah, LA for sure. So shout out to CK. Again, he didn't want credit. A long-term community member from a few other projects and EMP. He did these incredible AI explainer videos that really give an awesome overview of Plasm, bonds, what concentrated liquidity providing is, a bunch of different topics, and they are so good. I mean, again, I know even if you're an OG and you think you know what you're doing here, I would definitely go and make sure that you watch literally every single video on the channel. I believe it's called Millennial Money Tips, is the actual name of the channel, something to that effect. But he will be doing many new videos about all of our ecosystem. So Fusion as well when we're ready for that. And it really explains it as a fifth grade level. So super simple, super easy, and I think it will really help you all wrap your head around what we're actually doing under the hood. So yeah, thank you, CK, and please again show him some love. Comment on the videos, like, comment, and subscribe. The whole 9 yards. So
Incredible. Awesome.
awesome stuff. Okay. All right. What else? Like we're on a
While
roll. I
we
love
have
it.
this many
Yeah.
viewers, did you want to pull up Plasm one more time and just show like the very easiest basic way, like explanation of just how to get in? Say you have some ETH on base and you just want to hit that easy mode and just throw it in there.
Absolutely. So hang on one sec here. All right. Where are we? Oh, it would help if I could remember where we are. All right. Hang on one sec. All right, here we go. So yes, like LA said, you will go to plasm.io. The home screen will give you a bunch of information, and then you click on the launch app, or you can just go right to it. Plasm.io/earn. It is on Base, so you will need to have Ethereum in your wallet on Base, and we highly recommend Ravi wallet, but MetaMask and a few others will work. And so again, that's another big deal. We've been really trying to get. I was on an AMA again today with a bullish on base and builders on base. Base is the new hotness. So I mean, we've chosen now to move everything to base because all the volume is here. It's incredibly easy to onboard onto base as well. And now all of our tokens that are on base are now available in the Coinbase app. So you can literally buy eShare or Plasm or DexFi, all in the app. So again, that's really really powerful and makes it super easy for everybody to get involved. So once you have ETH, you go over here to EasyMode, and literally, I mean, again, it's so simple. You just choose what you want. ETH, USDC, eShare, Plasm. Again, ETH for simplicity purposes. You can do max, or again, I would suggest keeping at least a little bit for gas. And then day 77 will determine your bonus. So you can do lower, like 30, 40, 50 days. But just remember that it's a give and take. So the lower the length of time is, the less multiplier you get. And so it does become more risky because obviously a 7,000% ROI is not realistic. It would be billions of dollars in the protocol. The reason that it shows this is just, it is calculated on the actual dollar value at the time. So if Plasm does stay at, $4.45, 77 days from now, it would be a $7,000 ROI or 7,000% ROI. So just keep that in mind. But I mean, regardless, as if you have a mindset of more than one cycle, meaning you're willing to just stick around and see how everything plays out, maybe take some profits, and then secure your, original investment, but then speculate with the rest, or see, you're going to have a really good time because going back into the system, you're earning more and more of the supply. And really, that is the name of the game. Because of the real yield, you want to own as much of the Plasm supply as you can, because it's a fixed supply. There's only 125 million Plasm ever being produced, and if you can earn 1% of that Plasm over time, then now whenever the buy and burn happens, it's literally pushing the price up and paying you for holding. So that is really, really powerful. And eventually there'll be less and less supply even coming out. So you're not diluted, and it's deflationary. So it only gets more powerful, assuming that bonds and yield continues. So and then down here again, you just hit it'll choose whether it's staking or creating. And look at that, just now it actually turned to create. So again, the system knows, based on the price of eShare and Plasm, what is more profitable. So we caught it on camera as it flipped over. So now creating is more profitable. So you just enter easy mode, and it goes. So again, just to be understand, the name of the game is owning as much supply as possible, uh, uh, accumulating as many shares down here as possible, which will determine how much Plasm you get in the future. And then, letting the buy and burn kick in for multiple cycles. So if you have a long-term mindset, you should do really well. Again, not financial advice, but LA, does that help? I don't know if that was a quick overview, but
Yeah,
it
it's
was an overview.
fantastic. Yep.
All right,
I
awesome.
mean, it's a no-brainer now with the easy mode. It's so easy to get in, and it's amazing seeing the buy and burn, the buy and build growing with the amount that you have to then use and cover when that 77 days does come, and things are looking good.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, and again, the the ratios are really, really good too. I mean, again, eShares holding up, Plasm's holding up, even when you do see a dump. Oh, and that was one more thing I wanted to mention too. Everybody seems to be really concerned about the eventual sell-off, which again, it may very well happen. I'm not saying it won't, but what I am saying is when that happens, the buy and burn becomes even more powerful. So again, say we get sub $1 Plasm, that means the buy and burn can buy and burn that much more Plasm as well. And again, all of that matters when we have a fixed supply token, because it's transferring value into those that are holding for the long term. So, and it really boils down to the fact that going through the protocol as designed, well, through easy mode, whether that is creating or staking, you are earning more Plasm than you would ever be able to buy on the market for the same amount of money. And so when you really understand that, it incentivizes you to go into the protocol the right way. Again, not financial advice. Everybody can do what they want. If you want to day trade Plasm, go for it. But the whole idea is that those people are the ones that have an advantage for the future, and are in control of the protocol, which is what we all want. We want the biggest advantage to go to those that have diamond hands and support the protocol. So, and again, with real yield, it's a game changer because we're not relying on new users. Even if not one person creates or stakes any Plazm from today on, the Buy&Burn will eat the supply every day and push the floor price of Plazm up and to the right forever. Again, assuming yield continues. So, all right, awesome.
Amazing. Should we jump into some questions?
Yeah, perfect. All right, I'm ready when you are. I know we had a few on Discord, I think, and then yeah, I'll look on in the live stream. And if you do have a question, whether you're on X or YouTube, please type it in the chat.
Okay, first question from Discord. What is the definitive cutoff date for sacrificing liquid EMP into Fusion before the full migration to base?
Yeah, so the short answer is right up until we launch. But again, I think maybe the better play, and again, if you have EMP, I would make sure you sacrifice it. But if you're looking to get into EMP now, you're probably better off just because of price impact and some other factors, to just hold and get ready to buy on the marketplace. Because I think there are people that are impatient, or maybe are not happy with our decisions, and they may sell at a big discount. So you could probably get some great deals buying microgrids on base when the marketplace opens. So again, no right or wrong answer, but that's what I would do. And once we are live on base, then we'll shut down the EMP on BNB, and then yeah, you'll no longer be able to sacrifice.
Okay, awesome. Next question. Before, we had to use M energy to make any action into Fusion. Now I understand M energy is completely removed from the new protocol on the base network. Does this mean that if we decide to sell part of our Fusion ownership, there's no other cost other than the 3% fee for the transaction? Not anymore anything similar to the M energy charge?
Yep, nope, that's 100% true. So, what you will do is you'll unstake your NFT. It then shows up in your wallet. You will have some minor gas fees associated with that, but it's pennies on base. And then, yeah, there's a 3% listing fee, and then a 3% buyer fee as well. So, the short answer is no other fees and no other energy that you have to worry about. You make sure you have or don't have. So it's very, very simple.
Awesome. Final question from Discord. Where does the value of the EMP that was sacrificed into Fusion go? Has it gone into bonds?
Yeah, so this is a big, I think, fundamental misconception, that this EMP has some sort of value. So the liquidity, has been purposely reduced over the years anyway, or the year, getting ready for Fusion, just so that we could put as much yield into Fusion as we could. But EMP itself only gets value from what the market is willing to buy it at. And so again, there is no destruction or creation of value with EMP. So again, even though the market cap is, whatever, $5 million at one point or whatever it was, that doesn't mean that there's $5 million of value in the protocol. So it's a really, again, it's a bit of smoke and mirrors that every crypto project does, but nobody talks about. And so liquidity and market cap do not automatically equal value. And so the short answer is, the EMP that was sacrificed is transitioned into ownership in Fusion. So now the value comes from what somebody's willing to buy the microgrids off of you for. So it turns into a truly capitalistic economy. And what then will drive value up is the APR. So if APR is good and people are incentivized to have a position in Fusion, then that will push the price up because there's high demand to get in and potentially low supply. Because we've talked about this many times as well. If people that are in Fusion right now don't want to sell their positions or ownership to other people, then the value could go through the roof because now somebody's willing to spend more and more and more to get involved. And if nobody is selling, it pushes the price ridiculous. So until it gets to a point, that somebody's willing to sell. So that's all how free markets work. Um, and under the hood, all the treasury is really what is important with Fusion. We're gonna have an ETH treasury that not only produces yield through bonds, but also is backing just like any other treasury company on the stock exchange that will have backing value of your microgrid. So all those things play into it. But yeah, there isn't. I mean, again, I wish that market cap turned into real value. We'd be killing it. That EMP value would go into bonds. It just doesn't work like that. So
I want to add to
yeah,
your
please feel free.
answer with just like a super simplified version of the answer, because this question keeps coming up and I don't think people truly understand, even though we're answering the question. So when you sacrifice EMP into Fusion, into the original Fusion, it's essentially being burned because EMP is a single staking EMP staking pool. And when you sacrifice your EMP into Fusion, it's essentially being burned in exchange for your ownership position that you're now creating in EMP. If we wanted to take, say, for example, I have no idea, so this is just an example, but say, for example, $3 million worth of EMP was sacrificed into Fusion. If we wanted to take that and put it into something like bonds, we would have to sell all of that EMP to turn it into ETH or BNB or whatever we were sacrificing or whatever we were using to get into bonds with it. Of course, we would have never done that. We would have never sold any of the EMP sacrifice into Fusion, let alone $3 million worth, because we would have just tanked our own project in a single swipe, right? So it's important to understand that the only way to turn that into another token like ETH is to sell that EMP. And we would have never done that. So in exchange for sacrificing your EMP, you created an ownership position, but the treasury is not doing anything with that EMP. We can't do anything with that EMP, but essentially it was being burned, which took it off the market, which essentially made it so that other people couldn't sell it and continue to drive the price of EMP down. Now, the holding of the treasury, like the treasury's treasury, the treasury's money never came from EMP that was sacrificed into Fusion. It came from the treasury doing outside income generating activities and getting involved in things that built up the treasury and then using that in bonds, in the vaults, in things that generated more income to continue to compound that and grow the treasury. But none of that ever came from your EMP sacrifice into Fusion because we couldn't sell that EMP or else we would ruin our own project.
Yeah, absolutely, LA. Perfectly said. Again, I'm trying to make it as simple as we can. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And again, I think that is a big misconception. That people think this money comes from somewhere, and unfortunately, like you said, if it did, it would destroy the protocol. So yeah, and we still stand by that. I mean, again, there's still haters and FUD, but we don't sell our own tokens. Again, that is so different. Every meme token, XRP, Chainlink, the Ethereum Foundation, for Christ's sakes, they sell ETH to pay for shit, and we don't sell EMP to pay for things. We get it through real yield through our treasury, and do it in a way that is very healthy in terms of economics to support the protocol. And yeah, I mean, that's another thing that people I don't think seem to understand. And we, we do things as sustainably as possible, even if that means that we are not able to put as much into the treasury. We're not willing to tank our own projects to do that. So again, hopefully that helps explain. That was a great topic. And you're right, LA. I think we get this a lot, but hopefully after tonight that clears that up.
Yes. Okay, let's do some YouTube ones. The new UI for Fusion, will that go live when Fusion goes live on base, or will you display the landing page a little bit beforehand?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, again, I what I showed tonight, obviously, tell somebody else that hope the APR is real. Yeah, I mean, again, we can't predict the future. It may not be. But anyway, the what we showed tonight and in the announcements, that is what you can count on. So, but yeah, if we can do I'll have to get with the devs. My concern is that we release the the URL in the marketplace, and then nobody has credit, and then people panic, or the marketplace isn't open. So, I would say again, there really isn't a rush. So most likely we'll just do an announcement that says, "Hey, we're going live on X day," a couple days before, and then when it's live, we post it. Because then we're not in this dev time, or where we say a date and then something comes up and now people are pissed because we set a date and we didn't stick to it. So yeah, again, there's a lot of nuance involved, but most likely it'll just be a prior announcement within a day or two. Then we go live and it's market ready. So that way, you know, and there is no advantage or disadvantage of being early or late.
Awesome. Okay. What's the estimated starting APR for Fusion after migration? Your favorite question.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll walk right in that one, right, LA? So yeah, the short answer is we don't have a crystal ball. I mean, I'm assuming and hoping that APR will definitely be better than what it was in on BNB, but that's not a guarantee. So please mentally prepare yourselves that APR could be a little rough still, but know that now without SAC points and without having to maintain or help recover peg and buy on the marketplace and spread ourselves 10 different ways with development costs and everything else, over the next few weeks, once it does launch, it should only continue to grow. So that is what I would say. And those that are able to pick up microgrids, from those that are impatient, or upset, could really establish some incredible ownership. So
Awesome. Is there any way to get this information other than from Discord or Telegram? We are still sending out emails, just not very frequently. These announcements from these past couple of weeks will be sent out in email this week, but we do ask that if you have questions, you move over to Discord or these AMAs. Open a ticket on Discord, ask us on Telegram, or ask us during one of these AMAs. We're going to be kind of moving away from sending a bunch of email replies. It's just not our platform that we're on super often.
for sure.
Yeah. Can we get a daily payout amount display on the bonds page similar to the daily profit display in vaults?
Yeah, I know that was a suggestion we got a few times. I did bring it up with the devs. I mean, you can do it on your own, but I know people don't like to do stuff on their own. Yeah, I mean, we have a backlog of UI updates and some other things that we're working on. I think that is on there, but I'll make sure we bring it up again for sure. So.
Awesome. I believe you already answered Florida Joe's question here. So next one, will we go to the Fusion base site, link our wallet, and our Fusion NFTs should be there ready to stake?
Yeah, 100%. So again, we make it super easy. The only thing you will have to do, again, just realize you will need to stake. So if you don't stake, and again, that might be the only sense of urgency in the whole system, is to make sure you stake, immediately. But even again, I mean, the APR will ramp up, so it's not like you're losing out on a ton of rewards if you're a week or even a month late. But yeah, the short answer is the NFTs will appear in your wallet. We did a snapshot, we did all the calculations, and you just need to stake, and then that's how you'll start earning in Fusion.
Awesome. And then just a reminder that it is your exact same wallet address
Yes.
from your BSC position that you'll need to connect with on base chain, and you will need some ETH on base chain as your gas token.
Yes, great reminders, LA. So yeah, your wallet address is the same for every EVM compatible chain. So again, BSC, Avalanche, all Sonic, any EVM chain, any layer 2, layer 1, whatever. So yeah, to LA's point, you will just need to have ETH on base. And again, that's why we highly recommend Rabi and MetaMask, is because you can actually now bridge assets in the wallets themselves. So, Rabi makes it really easy. You can just get some ETH on BSC or BNB and then bridge that to base, and then you're good to go. And again, we're talking $1 of ETH. We'll do enough transactions, for a month. So.
Awesome. When does HVM go live for the 10% into Fusion?
Yeah, so we're working on it. Obviously, we were hoping that that would happen sooner than later. But I would say join our next AMA for an update on HVM. The timeline is still what it's always been, where we're hoping to have the playable alpha and pack sale done by the end of the year, and then the full release of the game by the end of 2026. And the short answer is as soon as the game is monetized, that 10% will kick in. So, again, once the game is actually generating revenue, then we can implement it.
Awesome. In Plazm EasyMode, can you use USDC? Does this take buy pressure off of Plazm?
Yeah, so you can use USDC. Again, ETH, USDC, eSHARE, and Plazm. In terms of taking buy pressure off Plazm, I mean, yeah, if you're using USDC and the system has to go and buy Plazm to stake it, so that would be only buy pressure, not any sell pressure. But yeah, it doesn't take buy pressure off. It actually increases it. The only caveat to that would be if you already had Plazm, then it would sell a little bit of your Plazm to cover the creation or the stake fees. So again, that would be the only thing that actually adds sell pressure. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. That takes us to the end of our questions for tonight.
Amazing. Well, there you go. So And again, the numbers keep going up. So everybody stayed to the very end. I love it. Shout
Amazing.
out to all of you, all the new faces. Red LA record
Yeah.
time.
Big shout out
Yeah.
to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. We love doing these Thursday AMAs, and having more of you join us is even better. So please make sure you like the stream, follow us on all of our platforms, and especially here on YouTube.
Yeah, 100% LA. Couldn't have said it better. My co-host with the most, always joining me on these AMAs. And LA was a community member at one point. So shout out to all the new faces that have been very supportive, very positive. We reward those that really help push this platform forward, whether it's EMP, Plazm, anything, any of our products and our what we call our mothership. So things are looking great. We're excited for the end of the year to finish strong, and 2026, with bonds and Plasm and everything else, Fusion that we're doing. I think obviously HVM and DexFi, GDEX as well. So I think we're really set up for an amazing future, and it's all because of real yield. Again, any new protocol that you're getting into, if they don't have real revenue streams, ask them why not. And with bonds, we've essentially, again, it's in the name, it's the easy button for real yield. So any other protocols that you're involved in that have not put their treasuries to work or not implementing real yield, they can do so through our bonds or through providing LP through Dex Finance on their own. And that really is going to be the next wave of what we're trying to promote and really offer, to the rest of the crypto market. So, all right, awesome. Appreciate all of you. We come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Good night. Good day. See you soon. Bye bye.